Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Guile here, and welcome back to something a little bit different. That's right, it's that time again when here at Guilecast we preempt the result of a major democratic exercise. It's a little tradition we like to have for the uninitiated, those of you who don't know how things work. When a major thing comes along, at least in the West, democratic-wise, a major election or a referendum, we like to waste time for those pesky proles to go to the voting booths. No, we like to tell you all in advance what the result is going to be, and we have a 100% winning record, I think, on 5 or 6. What have we had so far? So we correctly predicted Brexit, Trump 2016, 2 UK elections, and the French presidential election. And so that's quite it started off as a bit of fun, but now I actually have a record to defend with this, and it's not scientific at all. For those of you that don't know, we simply use a random number generator to work out who is going to be fighting for which team. And for those of you out there, there'll be a small group of you saying, "Guile, for goodness sake, keep politics out of SOPCOM." To you I say, and all of that jazz. It's not serious. Life is too short, people. No one gets out alive at the end of it, so why not have a little bit of fun? If there are any Trump, Biden fanboy/girl intermediaries out there, whatever you want to be referred to, I humbly suggest that it really doesn't matter. America is screwed either way, whoever gets in, so it's fine. It's fine. And we can all take it tongue-in-cheek. So if we go over to the random number generator, there it is, and we click generate. Now this will be assigning a team or assigning a candidate to team 1. And what happens is if it's even, we usually pick the Democratic candidate, because Democrats, as with all lefties, are unhealthily preoccupied with equality. And odd, team 1 will be fighting for Trump because, well, he's just a bit odd, really. So that sorts that nicely. And what are we going? It's 4. So it means team 1 will be fighting for Biden. Team 2 will be fighting for Trump. And as always, we are going over to Setons Clutch because it is the arena in which these things are always best settled. I'm ready. You guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go over to the game zone and say, oh, it didn't load instantly. That's bad karma for everybody involved. How perfectly apt for this afternoon's game. So this is Team Biden up here at the top. This is Team Trump down here at the bottom. Going first for Team Biden, right at the back, rearguard air position. It's Noob 3. He's going Aeon. How very sensible. Opening first land in electric blue. Over to the cliffs down here, combat green. None other than Tagada, a UEF. And he's going first air, going to get that transport out early and get that side island. And going second land at the Causeway, it's our Borat fam. Wow, we were. Very nice. I defend the Causeway I like. Here he is. And he's going Cybran, opening first land. What perfect tech to represent Kazakhstani people right there. Just fits in marvelously. And last but not least, what is Benis? Defending at the beaches at Dijon Yellow. He's going first land and going Seraphim. So that's Team Biden. Let's check out Team Trump down here. Rearguard air position. First of all, it's Knuspikex, or Kex as we're going to be referring to him today. And he's going Aeon in burgundy red, opening first land. Over at the cliffs in fabulous vivacious violet, going UEF, it is When Day Breaks. He went first land, second air, so reversing that for Tagada on Team Biden. Shinobu on the Causeway in baby pink, marching his way up there already. He's gone Seraphim, and he went first land and going land all day. How very uninspiring, or usual. How unusual. There we go. That's not even a thing. Next up, last but not least, in baby blue, going UEF, it's Eco Noob, and he went first land, second air. Game quality at 94%. That's definitely what we consider to be a balanced game. What's interesting about the layout, though, today is although there's quite a narrow band of ranges between these guys in terms of global rating, we've got 2300 Tagada top rating, and then lowest rating Noob 3 at the back there at 1700. Everyone else kind of 2000, 1900, 2100, that sort of range. What's interesting is they haven't tried to pair each other up to be facing off against each other directly, i.e. best against best. So Team Biden actually are stronger in the ponds over here. Tagada 2300 there, and what is Benis 2000. compare that to Team Trump, a little bit weaker. We've got a Eco Noob is a 1900, and When Daybreak's also 1900. But they are stronger down the spine, down the center. So stronger rearguard air, which is their 2000 rated Kex versus 1700 on Noob 3. So that's potentially a weak point for Team Biden. And on the Causeway as well, Shinobu a 2100. Facing off against Wah. He better die quickly, because I'm going to have to say that every single time, and you know I'm going to. But there it is. Initial planes out, spy planes or scout planes, checking it out. We have a drop already over to the top left coming out there from When Day Breaks. He's going to get that, no problems. And a transport, an attempt at a snag there from what is Bennis. He does have a Zui on board, one piece of mobile light artillery to try and bash down any engineers that he comes across when he lands, but he will be behind. Engineers well on the way to completing that first land factory. There it goes into green. There it is, perfectly. Checking it out on the Causeway, though, as the two ACUs bump into each other, Shinobu and Wah, and they're going to go on their obligatory mass scooping mission interchangeably, of course, exchanging fire as they go. That transport there from what is Bennis taking a little bit of fire, and he's down to around 150 hit points, and there's another interceptor coming in. He does have a group of escort fighters, but it's not going to be enough. Those fighters lagging a little bit too far behind. That's a lovely pickup there from When Day Breaks, and that definitely solidifies his hold on that side island over on the left hand side of the screen. Back to the center, Shinobu hoovering up Nas. Has put a little bit of damage on Wah. For the uninitiated, for the newbie players out there, of course, Cybran comms are the most lightly armored of all comms, base 10,000 hit points. You've got an extra 1,500 base hit points on the Seraphim, so it's a little bit of an advantage ACU-wise, but of course the Cybran comm has a little bit higher health regen, so 15 hit points a second as opposed to just the paltry 10. All of those values, of course, change over time with ranks in veterancy and upgrades as they are applied. Transport away, successfully landing on that side island for Tagada, completely unopposed. We do have one interceptor that came in to try and shoot it down, but I don't think he's even going to be able to bag that as it runs away. Defending interceptor there, shooting that down in good order. That transport will make it out with 50 hit points to spare. What were you even worried about? And a cheeky little lab that actually ran all the way down the center from Wah, tried to take out that engineer, and got through to about 36 hit points before a reclaim finally finished that off. So attention being paid there from Kex, always nice to see. Back in on the Causeway, a few FAMs turn up there for Shinobu, battering down a lone Medusa before backing away in true Trumpian style. Shinobu, it's hard to know who actually got the lion's share of reclaim. It's really annoying that we haven't actually got an update on... Or have we? Have we or haven't we? Maybe it has been updated. No, I got all excited for a minute. There's a little bit of lag time there. You click on reclaim, the values all show 0. So still waiting for that update from Hazar. I'm sure he'll come back and update it soon, but it makes life a little bit harder to work out who got the lion's share of the reclaim. But if we actually look at the values, I think we can probably surmise that it was probably Trump. These early reclaim figures impact massively on these sorts of values at 6 minutes in, and there's about a 3k advantage at the moment for Team 2, so I think it's fair to say Shinobu got the lion's share of the reclaim in the center. That's probably the most likely outcome of this early exchange. A few extra forces turning up now for both of these ACUs. Of course, easy to dip away if you're in trouble on the Causeway. Shallow seas on both sides, plenty of room to retreat to. Shinobu still determined to get as much reclaim as he can. Both of these guys down into the yellow now. Mantis piling up on that other side. Shinobu taking the opportunity to batter them away. Neither player wanting to yield the center ground here. T1 bombers out from both sides, harassing, and this is where that lower buffer of HP really comes into play. Wow, we were backing up into the ocean, forced into the sea, and now with that damage gone, Shinobu can start to wreck some T1 spam heads over here with the pile of Mantis that's left. And that should mean a decent amount of reclaim there for him. A little bit further back, an engineer's turned up and has dropped down a defensive emplacement, something for the Com to withdraw to. T1 bomber out from Keck. No actual kills for it yet. Seems to be heading deep into Biden territory. And there's a whole load of clumped up engineers. He's being pursued vigorously by interceptors there from Tagata, and fortunately they managed some serious damage limitations. He went for a bit of a split there to try and pull his engineers away and minimize any damage from a potential bomb drop, but fortunately for him, that did not occur. Gun upgrade on the way for Wawa, 41% complete there. T2 upgrade as well on the way for Shinobu. So both of these guys taking the opportunity with this lull in combat to beef up their comms somewhat. Now let's check out what's going on in the naval side of things. We've got 2 naval yards up and running there, a 3rd under construction over at the cliffs. And what's interesting, we were talking about Team Biden having the advantage in the ponds. Well, actually, it seems like what is Ben is slightly behind the curve on the naval side of things. Already finds himself in a pretty pickle as Trump naval forces steam into the bay and start hammering away on the single solitary naval yard. Slightly distracted, attention elsewhere will cost him 1 frigate as those Zuis turn up and lob their shells in, and the Com takes care of another. Might still yet hang on to this naval yard. Gun upgrade completes, and Shinobu not hanging around. He completes the T2 engineering suite and is going straight for nano repair. So we've got some serious chunky Com action in the center. Going to utilize that beefed up Seraphim ACU. It's going to make life difficult for Wawa. But he's hit T2, got some hoplites joining the front line, and importantly has some engineers back here working on some T2 point defense. He's already got a couple up and running back here next to this radar. There's some wall emplacements going up as well. See, Democrats love walls too. True facts. Taking a few pot shots there with the upgraded gun on board. A couple of engineers found vulnerable right at the edge of the shoreline. Shinobu brings his freshly up, triple upgraded Com. So not only did he complete the nano upgrade, he upgraded the gun on it as well. So that is one scary looking machine right now. And with Wawa as low on health as he is, this could be a pretty pickle for him. But he's got a lot of Mantis around here which are really focusing in on that Com. But that's 80 hit points a second regen he has on board that commander. So he can tank it just a little bit, and it looks like he's sensing blood right now. Wants to get an early kill and put his team in the lead. Wawa Weewa down below 1,000 hit points and falling. Gets a crucial rank in veterancy right there. Back up over 2,000 hit points. Still retreating, but now he's strayed into the cover of his T2 point defense, and it looks like he's going to go for a draw now, pulling his Com out. Shinobu also into the red. 2,000 hit points. It's going to be a Com and player exchange, an extra rank in vet for Shinobu, but will it be enough? I submit that it will not. Down they both go, and we have a base trade, a player trade from these two guys at 12 minutes. Shinobu just biting off a little more than he could chew, and that's a good exchange for Team Biden. Their 1900 rated player versus a 2100. They will take that any day. And considering how things were going in the middle for them, not a bad early result for the Dems. What isn't so good is what is Bennett seems to have lost his naval yard. There's a steady stream now of Trumpian frigates coming in from Daybreak, and he could soon find himself sealed in landwards, which would not be ideal, especially not at 12 3/4 minutes into the game. How are things proceeding in the bottom pond? We've got engineers being airlifted in for Tagada. Usually means we're going to get some kind of midpoint naval yard setup going for quick reinforcements. Sitting back up here at the cliffs, looking pretty, and more or less at the top of the eco scale as well. As you expect to be, the cliffs always have the highest eco on Setons, so both him and Daybreak leading the field on mass totals. Pretty even so far in frigate numbers, though, in the bottom pond. Let's take a quick look at that. What have we got? We've got 13 frigates there for Tagada and Team Biden. And if I can click on the right person, that would be good. And we've got 11 frigates there for Eco-Noob on Team Trump. So a small advantage, but check it out. Engineers going to town on massive naval yard construction programs. Fully unionized, of course. None of this evil, deregulated capitalist nonsense. Away the vessels go. Further in, and now, of course, with the demise of both of these players, and of course this being Setons, full share is on, so somewhere a poor fairy has died of terminal gingivitis. But looks like Daybreak, in control of the front line at the Causeway, has spammed up a whole bunch of T1 land factories and is now just sending a combination of T1 Zooey and T2 floaty naughty spam up towards the beach, just to make life more difficult for what is Bennis, who is well and truly, I was about to say well and truly landlocked. He's managed to spam up another, well, a whole bunch. He's got 6 new naval yards, but with everything that's coming his way, yes, he's got a lot of production up and running, but check out the amount of forces that's heading his way. I just don't see him hanging on to those. He's trying to spam a whole load of Medusas out himself to counter the Zooey spam. Of course, the Medusas respect the laws of nature and don't decide to hover over the water. So they are stuck, landlocked, watching that floating abomination destroy all of those shipyards. It's curious, of course, because he does have Seraphim tech right there. All of this stuff is coming from Wawa's old base on the front line, all of this Cybrin tech. As a result, he is going to lose all of these, I think. We've even got some torpedo bombers entering the fray for Daybreak. Ben is taking a couple of torpedoes to his ACU chassis, but really doesn't look like it's going too well. They've got some good ASF coverage, though, from Noob 3. Let's see who's leading the field on ASF numbers. I would be surprised if it's Team Biden, aforementioned player ranking deficit, but he's on 28 for the time being. Kex, by contrast, is on 23, so I'm perfectly happy to swallow my words on that one. Noob 3 doing a stellar job at early ASF production. It's no exact predictor, of course, the global ranking system. Different players are better at different positions and different maps, so Yenzine's turning up and just blapping those torpedo launchers that Bennis is trying to hastily erect, but he's taking quite a bit of damage. He's down to 6,000 odd hit points, probably mainly from that set of torpedo bombers that were harassing him earlier, and there's another bunch coming in now, 3 more, and another one further back. Could this be another early ejection? Looks like it may well be. What is Bennett into the red, 2,500 hit points and falling. He's also in very shallow water, and all of the Zuis are ground controlling. Down he goes at 17 minutes and 18 seconds. ASF's doing a good job of picking off the torpedo bombers, but it was too little too late. They might as well bug out now, and suddenly Team Biden down to 2 players. It's literally Biden and Harris all by themselves. The rest of the party forsaking them. Things not looking great in the top pond. Place they were probably expecting to win. Poor old Sleepy Joe. Probably should have got out more on the campaign trail. Cerberus turrets up front, having a violent disagreement with a small patch of dirt 100 meters in front of their turrets. This is interesting now. We're starting to get some solid shielding in from this UEF fleet of Taggaders. But this will be the man that Team Trump have to deal with. There is a gulf between the 2,000 rated players and the 2,300 rated. So a concern perhaps that this guy is still in play, and not only that, potentially about to have EcoNoob on the back foot. EcoNoob completes a T3 naval headquarters, immediately gets to work on a Neptune battle cruiser, but we also have a T3 headquarters a stone's throw away in that forward position we were talking about earlier, and Taggart's actually airlifted his comm to assist. He's got T3 engineering suite on board, and I think that Neptune's going to be ready before EcoNoob's is. And check out the penetration from Team Trump. Very surprising for a man with small hands. It's a family show, I know. That's completely thrown me. But in they come now. And that entire base section, formerly what is Bennis's base, in bits. And if Daybreak can set up on this shoreline, no sign yet that he's airlifting in. In fact, he's brought some engineers forward, but he's still working on pumping out naval yards. Not a terrible idea. If you look up here, Noob 3 desperate to try and rescue the situation in the top pond. Currently spamming up a whole load of naval yards himself, but torpedo bombers harassing those. And he's got some ASFs of his own now, defending those torpedo bombers. Noob 3 not sending in his main air wing to help defend that for the time being. He's got his own set of skimmers coming out now. Looks like he's going to run some interference for them, maybe. Trouble is, these vessels now shielded. We've got cruisers in here with their solid anti-air capabilities. And that is going to be tough. Tough cookie for Team Biden to crack there. Certainly not going the way that the polls are showing so far. Team Trump with a solid lead, with the exception of Eco. I mean, Team 2, or Team Trump, down at 539, ticking up 1k a second. And Team 1, how about... Wow, they're being caught, actually. They're being caught very quickly indeed. And I submit this is probably taking into account reclaim. And because Team Biden has lost an extra player, they've had potentially more reclaim to scoop. Although there's a lot of the infrastructure still there in the form of wrecks. But Team Trump catching up massively. It's about to go neck and neck on those side of things. Should probably insert a comment there about his epic business skills, except I don't believe he has them. Personal preference on that side of things. I suppose he's done quite well to stay afloat over the years, considering the periods of financial trouble that he's been in. Swings and roundabouts on that front. 3 Neptune-class battle cruisers, meanwhile, defending this base for Eco-Noob. There's also 3 for Tagada, but more comprehensive shielding, I think, for Team Biden, and a lot more lower quality vesselage present for Biden. They are in desperate need of a win here. They need to shut down this bottom pond ASAP, because things looking decidedly dicey over here in the top pond. Those naval yards that Nuke 3 was trying to get established has been shut down, and he's now firmly in control of the bay with shielded cruisers lobbing missiles inbound at clumps of T1 spam that he can reach. And I submit it won't be too long before engineers start erecting production facilities on the beach. That's exactly what they're doing. So, bridgehead established. Or beachhead, rather. Not bridgehead at all. Beachhead established. Another Neptune rolls off for Team Trump. Just in the nick of time. As that T3 Naval HQ starts taking extra fire. Neptunes for Biden switch up to the newly produced vessel. Doesn't last long. And I think the Naval Yard will follow it pretty sharpish. There it goes. And this will be Team Trump locked out of the bottom pond. So it'll be 1 pond apiece. Causeway at stalemate. Shielded up over here for Biden. Unshielded for Trump. That's like a metaphor. No defense. Just hurling abuse at the Biden camp, although Dem's giving as good as they get now with static emplacements versus the T3 mobile artillery. Is that going to provoke a Causeway assault? Shielding makes it difficult to trade on that front. We do have some T3 siege tanks in the mix as well. What have we got in terms of defenses? Handful of Cerberus turrets, probably about 6 or 7. Excuse me, it's not COVID, I promise.
Strategic launch detected.
Hello! A nuke out from Noob 3 in this little mini base set up in the midfield of his territory. Where's it going? Is it going deep? And is this undefended? If it's going deep, Kex needs to start moving. He's already thrown out a GG. That's a little bit early at 25 minutes, but he should probably get his comm moving, otherwise it will be GG. It's halfway there already. I imagine this is where he's going, and Kex finally decides that life might possibly be worth living in some respect. Inbound. And that is not going to get shot down. Oh, does it get Kex? No, Kex just outside the blast radius. Takes a little nick on the ACU of a couple of hundred hit points, but his main base is in bits. Just 98% done on an anti-nuke. Oh, that's painful. But he'll be pleased to see his teammate has rolled through the front line on the Causeway and is now marching on the main base. Engineers throwing down as many turrets as they can. Getting some help over here. Oh, but Eco Noob goes up. Eco Noob picked off down here. Tagada picking up a kill, so now it's a 2v2. Oof, and a massive air battle ensues just as Tagada airlifts his comm into the fray. Over here, he's got an attack missile online on that commander. He's actually already got 25 kills, and there's a whole bunch of empty mass points, so I think he's been on a massive mass point assassination mission. He tried to pick up his comm there, maybe to move it out or reposition. That provoked a response from Kex and a counter response from Noob 3, but I think Kex won that exchange, although he's now just getting a few ASFs picked off as they plow deep into enemy territory. Interesting decision there. He's going to hold the field there on that one as well, but he took a few more casualties than he needed to. But check out what's going on the beach. Major incursion. How many land factories are we looking at here? We are looking at 22 T1 land factories and many more queued up besides. This is going to be tough now. Noob 3 has to fend this ground attack off. He's also got garbage coming down the middle, and not just T1 spam either. We've got siege tanks rolling down the middle. Ouch. Major exchange. I can see tac missiles being launched once again from that commander. Picking off factories. This is a lovely bit of play from Tagada.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke out from Noob 3. Where's that going this time? Is it going after the boats in the bay? Or is it going for the side island? Whistles overhead. Past the boats. You're going for mass denial here from Biden. Going after the campaign funds. And that is going to connect. Epic casualties, civilian casualties. Could it be 200 million? Or 200,000? I don't know, it's confusing. Americans will understand. Missiles away, bombarding deep into enemy territory. That's a lot of infrastructure that's been set up on the beach there by daybreak. Pleasant to survey the scene. Small cliff base down here getting finished off, belonging to Kex. We're 30 minutes in. What an interesting dynamic this game has now taken on. We've got a couple of strategic missile submarines here as well for Tagada, so potentially a couple of nukes parked off the coast there for Trump and Pence to worry about. It's not the Russians or the Chinese. It's the Tagada, far more scary. siege tanks now rolling up to that base. Only one remaining, but he's got a lot of Lobos in tow. Would love to take down that nuke launcher. That has been a real nuisance. 3 broadsword gunships helping keep the spam at bay. Counter spam base up here, just with a rally point here directing all T1 units to intercede and intercept before they get inside the shields and start causing havoc. Frontline base, formerly of Shinobu's, now Daybreak. There's no mass income to be garnered there. It's broad, spread out base. Sensible way to do things if you can. Not always an option, of course, for the air player. He needs to get these massive arrays of adjacency boosted factories up and running in the backfield. Support commanders up and running up at the back. And a GC being built in next to no time. You see how quickly that thing completed. That's going to be a useful defensive linchpin to station just outside the shield and try and contend with some of this spam that's coming in. Never a better time for it when there's another siege tank and a few pillars coming in from the north. It's like, no, quick, redirect. Nope. No escape. No escape from my social message based on critical race theory. Social science educated Colossus.
Strategic launch detected.
Projecting his philosophy. Another nuke out. Will this time it be heading towards the bay, or nope? Sail straight over once again. This time it looks like it's on course for the T3 Naval headquarters back here, so try and stem the tide of... Well, it's not actually producing vessels right now. It's all part of a bigger plan. And that will connect. It's a lot of dead NGs on that one. 271 kills now for that strategic missile launcher. Is that a TAC missile battery? That is. Massive TAC missile battery on the beach. Lobbing missiles in, trying to take down that strategic missile launcher. But of course, Aeon tactical missile defense, very adept at deflecting large barrages of missiles. Ooh, just getting inside the shields now, though, some of these T1 units. Not quite managing to breach that second shield and take that front one down. And now we've got some Harbingers turning up on the scene, as well as some Spectres. This is good, solid land defense here from Noob 3 against extraordinary T1 pressure, T1 and T2. What Team Trump could really do with is some proper punching power in here if they could sneak an experimental in. Oh, they could try and pound it down with the Fat Boy. That's where he's going. But an Ithota or another Colossus wouldn't hurt. And now another group of spam, this time redirected off towards Tagada, but Tagada with a pretty solid amount of Titans pouring out of that base to defend. And one thing we haven't mentioned is the artillery that's moving from north to south. Looks like we've got a Duke. Here it is at the cliffs. Show you what that can actually reach. Everything inside that yellow line. So actually that rear base out of range for the standard T3 static artillery, and a massive ground redirect from Daybreak pushes that Zui spam north away from Tagada's base. Tagada can't follow directly because of the pond. That's a lovely little maneuver, but he hovers straight over it and now starts to threaten Noob 3's position from another angle. Spectres redirected to engage. Gunships doing as best they can, but now the Fat Boy's complete as well. He's going to start peppering those Harbingers, which have increased dramatically in number in a pretty short space of time. That's a major industrial effort there from Team Biden. Summit-class battleships in the bay for Tagada.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke out from Noob 3. Now, is that going to the bay? Yes, it is, and it's going to take a whole bunch of land factories with it. All of those vessels, all of those engineers working on the next Fat Boy are well and truly kaput. Just didn't know it yet. Ugh, my retinas. It's all over. Shout out to the Megalomania crew circa 1990. 1992, 3, something like that. It's a very niche section of gaming history right there. T1 bombers sent in to try and counter the Fat Boy. A lot of them getting shot down before they can release their payloads. Some Stinger gunships turn up from Tagada. Fat Boy could probably do a lot worse than to get into the water as that Colossus now pushing forward. This is a proper push from the Dems. Try and shut Trump off that beach. Spectres pushing their way forwards down the central causeway as well. This is solid work from the Dems. I don't know how Team 2 are going to hold this. Colossus just strolling through. Fat Boy dipped into the water for a while, so was unable to fire. It's back out onto the beach. Laying down some fire onto those Harbingers, but Team Trump looking a little sweaty and red-faced. He's just got back from an Epstein get-together. Defense satellite out from Tagada. Where is that heading? Looks like it's drifting off towards Keck's base. Ooh, experimental resource generator under construction. Only 130 hit points complete. Long way to go. That would be an excellent thing for the defense satellite to stop immediately. Force them to restart again once shielding is in place. Taggart are working on a second Novak satellite. And that vanguard force with the Colossus, excuse me, and those Harbingers finish pushing their way north up the coast there. There is now only one single land factory in operation. The Fat Boy has retreated into the water. All of that early navy that was right up against the shoreline got nuked. We do have some frigates back here, and interestingly, Daybreak, of course, never really bothered to replenish his navy after it got nuked down here. So there's a potential way back into the top pond here for the Dems. They've stopped the attack. They've cleaned out Team Trump from the beach down the Causeway. They've got the ranged advantage. Duke's still battering away at what it can reach. Novak satellites touring the grounds of the Trump estates, picking off gaudy gold decor and whatnot as they go. This is a solid comeback, and of course, part of the problem, yes, they took out a couple of players, but one of those players wasn't Taggart, and actually, to be fair, Nuke 3 has done stellar work muscling his way back in and reclaiming this territory now. With proper investment, he might just be able to re-establish the naval game, and then the Republicans really will be in trouble. Fat Boy emerges onto the beach and starts laying into a bunch of Titans. Taggart set up at Bennis's old base. It's like fish in a barrel, although we do have Harbingers coming in from the bottom. Question is Daybreak paying attention? Won't take long for that shield to collapse. In come the Spectres as well. And there it is, the retreat order given. Gets safely into the water. Support commander dies off somewhere. Got me excited for a minute. Thought I'd missed another con kill. Check this out. Titans storming their way down the Causeway and now pressuring Daybreak's main base. Ridiculous amounts of T1 bombers scrambled from Kex to defend. Actually not doing too bad a job in combination with these engineers who are spamming up triads. There's a few T1 PDs and T3 Ravagers under shield coverage that help finish it all off. So that resource generator looks like it has been destroyed and rebuilt. It's still only on 286, and this time we have some shielding in place to give it some cover. There's now 2 satellites bearing down on it. And a Naval under construction, and a 3rd operational satellite. Where's the 3rd one? Got 2 over there. That means, is it crossing to join the other 2? There it is. It's en route. So that's actually quite a lot of space-based damage. That could cause major problems for Team Trump trying to get their Paragon up and running. likely to default on some of his loans, I think. Kex with his comm under quite a bit of shield coverage over here, drawing that Duke fire. No danger of it breaking through there, I don't think. But no danger of him pushing out and re-establishing control over any of these central bases either. Quantum Gateway working on RAS-based support commanders for extra eco generation. If they can get that up and running, none of that will matter. We'll have unlimited resources. And then perhaps all the work that's been done by the Dems will be undone. But that Mavor's going up pretty quick as well, and that will be tough to keep out. A Mavor and 3 defense satellites. That's a bit of a nightmare. We'll have to see how good his shield micro is. Oof. Almost taking out the quantum gateway there, and defense satellites break through. Where has his comm gone? There he is. He's just over here under a more solid set of shielding. Support commander going up. I actually think I lose seconds off my life when I hear that going off in the background and I'm not looking at it. Several years physically ahead of where I should be from casting this game, and the quantum gateway does go down. Now support commanders being targeted. A real problem for the Republicans, but they're not far off that resource gen now. Kex putting just about everything he's got onto it. Definitely doesn't want to lose power though. That is not ideal, especially when defense satellites are hovering above your commander. Quite like Zoc's idea back in the day of having shields powered centrally rather than just being depleted and switching off individually when one shield is battered down enough. I like the idea of it sucking power to keep out the damage, so that the more fire you're taking, the more power you need to sustain the shields. And if you run out of power, of course, all your shields go down everywhere. I quite like that. There's an air of impending doom about it. Answers in the comment section below what you think of that. And at 48 minutes as well, answers who you think's gonna win. Timestamp, no cheating please, no getting to the end of the videos. We want all of the clever clogs is out in the open. Who is going to come out with the victory on this one? Is it Trump or is it Biden? That resource generator looks like it might well complete. How far off are we with the Mavor? Well, that's about to go 75% complete. There it is, into the green. Colossus and Harbingers advancing on the Fatty, hoping to catch it unawares. That just lurking on the beach there where Daybreaks was trying to re-establish himself once more with another beachhead. Noob 3 says, I do not like the look of that. And the generator is online. Unlimited power. Engineers steam into work, straight on a salvation, rapid fire.
Strategic launch
artillery. Taggeta doesn't like that's completed. They've been scouting it regularly and promptly launches from his strategic missile submarines in the bay. Fires 2 sets of nukes. How many more have we got in there? There's at least another 2 in there. Oh, the comm is right there. He could have gone for it, but they're determined to go after the resource gen. First 2 shot down. Next 2 inbound. How many anti-nukes have we got? There's 2 in here. 1 left. Or 1 left in the one down here and 2 up here. So they should get that final one. That final volley. Oof. And there's still 1 in the clip in that one over here. How are the shields doing against the defense satellites? Oh, not too bad, but I think that might have been the Naval that just completed. There it is. No small hands for the Biden team. There it is. And now this is going to be interesting. For those of you that don't know as well, when the resource generator goes pop, it goes pop in a nuclear explosion. So you really want to keep it protected. It's unfortunate they didn't get it up earlier, because now they're going to have to contend with Naval fire along with those 3 satellites. That's going to be very difficult to repel. Salvation about to complete though. Oof, you see the amount of shields that blinked off with that. How many are now recharging? Is that vulnerable? That looks pretty vulnerable. And there it goes. Oh, it's so painful. He had it for about 2 minutes. You spend all that time building it, and then it just gets insta-gibbed. He says, what happened? E-stall? No, just the Naval and the defense satellites. Oh, we're nearly done on a Naval over here. Maybe the small hands comment was unjustified. Is it going to complete? Ouch. Just a load of rover drones there for a moment. That is going to complete. So now we have a Naval on each team. And another one immediately under construction, and another one queued up after that. Then he cancels it and says maybe not. But check this out. Loads of land spam coming in as well. Titans moving in. There's a Colossus under construction up at the back here for Kex. That's not going to get completed. Engineers just getting wiped, and a whole load of Lobos moving in as well. Defense satellites zapping all of the NGs from space. And now we have shells moving in the other direction. Has Taggeta realized that there's a Naval shell on the other direction? It's repositioning, and it looks like it's repositioning in that direction. So Taggeta scouting really well. You can see the spy planes hovering around every now and again. Question is, can he get enough shells away before his own Naval gets destroyed? There's some decent shielding around here, but it's tough when you're talking about keeping out Naval shells. I think we're going to have to go to split screen to keep an eye on these 2 artillery pieces. In come the satellites. They've been redirected, and when Daybreaks is nearby as well, so he could get wiped out. But oh, Taggeta's comm, I mean not his comm at all. Taggeta's comm's fine. It's over here. I just thought that was worth mentioning. Taggeta's Naval down, but there's still shells raining in. Daybreak's comm right by the Naval. Shields down. Satellites locking in on the Naval. He's not going to get to keep it. He's trying to get a T2 shield gen up as quickly as possible, but it goes down before he can. He needs to get his comm out of there. Looking supremely vulnerable. So both Navals taken out, but the situation for the Republicans not improved. Daybreaks moves his commander inside that group of 3 shield gens over here. Just ridiculous exchanges 54 minutes gone. Are we somewhere near getting a tie-up here? Wrapping the game up. Finding out who's going to be Prez for the next 4 years. Another Naval under construction over here for Tagada. All the time, of course, that Duke still hurling shells. But those defense satellites, there's no answer for them. I think there's only 2 of them now. Did that Mavor kill get one of them destroyed? I think it did, because I think there was a 3rd one over here, wasn't there? So Tagada down to 2 satellites at the very least. But at the moment, seemingly, for Team Trump, there is no way to respond. Not much they can do, and this is finally perhaps a little bit more in conjunction with what we've been seeing in the polls. Earlier it looked like we were in for an unlikely call, but things certainly moving Biden's way. Kex airlifting his commander into the pond in the corner. Stingers brought in to attack Daybreaks once again, but that was a pretty short air sortie as they bunch up, and the flayers, the T3 SAMs in that base, cut them down. Remember, we've got some more nukes in here in the subs.
Strategic launch detected.
Oh my god, it's like I knew it was coming. That's insane. I swear that wasn't planned. Now, are there any anti-nukes? There is one. All of this, of course, donated over to Daybreaks. But Daybreaks killed off by a combination of both of the satellites and that Duke raining down on him. And with Kex probably AFK, seeming as he donated everything over to his teammate and moved his comm into the pond. That basically represents the end of the Trump era. I think it's fair to say that's the way we're going. We've got Tsars inbound. How very apt. Although Tsars was before the communism came in. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not calling the Democrats communists. I would never do that. I'm going to get so much shtick in the comments for this. It's all going to be... I can just... by the way, I would like to say there will be... I'm fully expecting abuse. I mean, it's standard. It's part and parcel. Anytime you mention anything political. And I would just like to say, in advance, I am thoroughly immune to it. So, I mean, by all means, save the calories expended in moving your finger muscles to type that message. This is all in the name of a bit of fun. Absolutely no hope now, it would seem. And yeah, there it is. T3 torpedo bombers, Solaces out the back there from Noob 3, wending their way
launch detected
over towards that comm, expecting the victory en route. Fires his last nuke. Might as well make use of it. Those torpedo bombers taking a long, broad arc, finding their easiest route in. There are SAMs down here, of course, quite a few of them. Those torpedo bombers take quite a kicking, and of course those Tsars have lots of torpedo capabilities. Nuke lands, takes out a chunk of Daybreak's old base, but there's no way he's getting out of this one as the Solaces move in, drop half of their torpedoes and land. So that's not going to be too good, but a bunch of them do survive. They do huge amounts of damage, 3,000 hit points left. They're going to come back for another run. And there we have it. So, American liberals, you may rest easy. Feminists, all of you LGBTQ people who feel so threatened, relax. It's over. Those stutterings, of course, they're stutterings. They didn't hamper Biden too much, and for that matter, getting his wife confused with his sister didn't hamper him at all. It's all fine, and it is gonna be 4 years of Biden. Remember, guys, it's all a little bit of fun. There will be new stuff coming on the Patreon soon, so wait for that. Apologies, it's been busy. It's been half term over here, so a little bit crazy. But yeah, it's all over to you Americans on Tuesday, and we'll see if Guilecast can make it. What did we say? Is it 6 for 6? Something like that? Retain that 100% record. I better, otherwise I'm just going to be out of the game now, because it's so expectant that it will be the right call. I mean, it would have been crazy. If it had been a Trump victory, I think it would have looked unlikely. I mean, there are a few outlier polls here and there that they say they've got the methodology wrong, but it's going to be interesting nonetheless. I think it's going to be closer. It's certainly going to be closer than the polls suspect. I think this whole shy Trump voter thing, there's got some validity in it, but there's such a gulf in the polls now, and it looks like Trump has to have lightning strike twice, which it never does in all of those swing states once again, and it sounds like he's lost the women. I don't think it's going to go his way. So I think, as fate would have it, it's directed the game in the right direction once again. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. But until next time, this is Guile signing out. Stay well and stay safe. That's the wrong way round, but why not? It's all good. Catch you later.